Okay. All right. Hi, Melanie. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here with Melanie Hanser, and she took my course, Reclaim Your Body, Transform Your Mind. So I love to get other people's opinions on how it went for them, because that way it can reach more people and help more people that need it. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. So I'm a mom, one daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, and I guess the the reason why I really felt like I needed this course is probably typical for any mom, but since since my daughter was born, I've more or less felt like I've been in a rut as far as my own priorities and my own things, and I'm really just focusing and on her, which is okay and good. But feeling frustrated or feeling overwhelmed is difficult sometimes. So um, I
Yeah.
appreciated learning the things that I learned in the course because that's been helping me um, get through
Well,
and a little differently.
yeah, you mentioned a little bit about like how life was before coming to the course. You mentioned overwhelm and getting frustrated and not putting yourself as a priority.
Right.
So, yeah, is there anything else like life? You said the last 8 years, but right before the course, was there anything going on for you that kind of catapulted into this need to work on this course?
Well, I would say it's probably depends on the season. Like in the wintertime, coming out of winter, and just having maybe that seasonal depression or something like that, where it seemed especially necessary to snap out of it. And so I think that's what. And then of course you were offering it, so the timing is perfect in the springtime.
Yeah, and the way, for those people that are listening, the way that the course is, it's usually self-guided, and so it can be done like any time of the year, and then also you can go back to the activities when you need it. So like you said, sometimes of the year you're in a good flow, or yeah, you just don't really think to need some extra guidance, and then it's always there for you when it's necessary. So what are some things that attracted to you? You said I was offering it and it seemed attractive to you. So what are some things that stood out to you?
Well, I would say compared to some other courses that I've taken, the the things it was concise, it was short, and it was sweet. It didn't really add to my overwhelm, which was very
Mm.
nice. Um, and in fact, the activities and the extra videos that are available on your site are they're short and they're sweet and they're simple. They're just really simple. So I haven't had trouble remembering the different things that are available to help me. Like I they were so short and sweet that I can actually remember them, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Um, and even with the meetings that we had, that was always just 1 hour, so I was able to find 1 hour of the day. It was enjoyable to connect with other ladies and people who have completely different situations, but we always seem to have the same common denominator of feeling overwhelmed or not enough time, or I don't know, frustrated or um, distracted or whatever it is. There, it's all the same, even though we're all in different situations. So I felt it was really valuable and really nice to be able to have the little videos to come back to and to remember them, because they were only like, I think most of them were like 4 or 5 minutes. Some of them might have been a little bit longer, but the techniques that I learned, like the tapping, I sometimes find myself often find myself, if I wake up in the middle of the night, or if I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'll just start tapping. And it doesn't even have to be the tap like they showed in the video.
Yeah.
I'll just like start wherever my hand is lying. I'll tap like on my knee if it's near my knee, or on the bed or whatever. And then I'm just like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and before I know it, I'm asleep again, and I didn't even realize that I was like, I don't know. It works, even though that wasn't the I don't think that was the intent of the tapping, for example. But
Hmm.
I've been using it that way, and I'm asleep faster than if I've done the breathing ones, which also work wonders. So
That
it's
sounds so wonderful. Like just to have these strategies to come back into our body because yeah, when we're in overwhelm, it's because we're trapped in the mental processes, right? And then
right.
it, like you said, just those little tiny activities to get us back
So when I
into
wake,
our body.
the classic example is waking up at night for whatever reason, and maybe I had to go to the bathroom, or I rolled over or whatever, and but a thought pops in my mind, or I look at the clock or something, and I start thinking, and
Mm,
and I'm like, I don't want to be thinking right now because I need to sleep. And so then I've tried the tapping because it seems to be the least amount of thought process involved in doing it. Like I can just like set my fingers to moving, and before I know it, I'm asleep again. So,
yeah, it kind of reshifts your focus out of the mind, and then yeah,
and
just these little tiny reminders. And that's why I kept the activities short because we as moms we don't, yeah, we need we need that
yeah, I don't
little
have,
bit of time to just, yeah, reconnect with ourselves.
or the foot massage, that it was so relaxing the first time that I did it with the guide. But you like you can just do it anytime you're sitting around,
Hmm.
and without, it doesn't have to be necessarily mindful. It's just you're doing it, and then you're benefiting from the feeling and the relaxation that it brings. um I don't know, sitting and watching TV or folding clothes, or like with
Yeah.
one hand folding clothes would be hard, but
Yeah,
watching
you, yeah, just
watching TV or sitting at the dinner table, you can just like massage with one hand or something like that. So I've been,
yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome to share, like just how throughout the day we can reconnect with our body even if it's like just that focus on our foot. Like, you
I
know, there's Tegan. um so did you have any other aha moments that came throughout the, it's a four, I guess there's 4 weeks, but you don't have to do it in 4 weeks. But there's 4 weeks of content,
I think
and
the
yeah.
one of the biggest ones that stands out in my memory was embracing the simple exercise of embracing ourselves first in love and acceptance, and then finding someone else to put inside of a wider circle. That was it, it was, let's say, in theory I know all those things, but just the visual of actually creating a space to put someone inside and shower with your love, I really liked that. It felt good, and um purposefully viewing someone from the eyes of their innocence. um it just, it's very helpful, because sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, it's so easy to be judgmental of someone else and how they're behaving. And when you can take that perspective of showering them in their innocence, and realizing everyone has their own difficulties and struggles that they're working on, but in essence they need and deserve love just as we do ourselves, and compassion. So it was that was, I think, my biggest aha moment of finding the visual technique to do that with some people that I've had difficulties with.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful activity, and you know, over the course of our lifetime we have some forgiveness to go through with certain people, but also with ourselves. So yeah, developing compassion for ourselves, especially in parenting, has been a really big part of all of my programs that I build. I have to have compassion for Tegan at the moment. What?
Where's town?
Town. We're gonna go to town in a little bit.
Where is this town?
Newcastle. Will you go get dressed and then we'll go? It's- oh,
A flag sticker.
we'll go get them then.
I don't know where that
Taylor got dressed. She's ready to go. We're getting dressed late today.
Can you give the
I'll have to cut this part out of the video.
no flag?
Um. Okay, so let's move on to the next question then, and I'll cut that part out of the video.
Okay.
Let me see. So, what would you say to a mom that's kind of on the fence about doing something like this for themselves? Like either they don't have the time, we already talked a little bit about that, but or the money, which I've made it super affordable because I know we just need time for ourselves, but what would you say to someone that's like thinking about doing this and they're just not quite sure?
Well, I mean, even for myself, when I was before committing to it, I was thinking, okay, do I really have the time? Do I want to take the time? It's like prime time when I don't have my daughter here, and I could be doing all sorts of different things, whatever. But um, I would say um, give it a try. Like first off, just give it a try. If you're struggling already, then this isn't going to, it's not really going to add anything to the overwhelm. It will give you a little bit of time to take a break. And that was so, it was so refreshing during the sessions to just relax and sit and breathe and take a little bit of a space for yourself. And really, we all need that periodically throughout the day because that's how we regain the energy to keep on plugging forward. So that would be something definitely where yes, there's always going to be a certain amount of maybe a little bit of a fear or anxiety of do I want to do this or not, but actually just take the plunge. Once you jump in, it's not going to be anything that's going to make your life more difficult. It'll make it actually easier. And basically because of the techniques that I was talking about before, that I gave examples of, there are just so many little tiny things like um, being more aware. I really appreciate listening to nature. So for me, it's usually I try to have the window open at night so that I can hear the sounds as I'm falling asleep, or if I wake up in the middle of the night, or in the morning, hear the birds and listening to that. It just gives me energy, and it it's something nice to be more mindful of what's going on around us. Or while driving, the mindful driving exercise, I thought that was pretty cool too. Because there's just way too many times when you're distracted, and then I find myself even wondering, well, how did I just navigate that stretch? I was so totally in my head, I don't even remember actually driving. It's like you're on autopilot or something. um,
Yeah, there's so many times in our life where we just are like, what happened? And um we want we want we want it to be different, and we have to put effort into that, and no one else is going to do it for us. I love that you said, just give it a try, just plunge in, because we're the only ones that can take care of ourselves. And our kids only have one mom, and we need to just make it a priority, right?
Right. And this is something like I mean it you can put more or less time into it as you're available, or as you where you can fit it in. But the techniques are just amazing because they're going to be helpful for my whole entire life. That I took the time to watch a video that was, I don't know, somewhere between 4 to 10 minutes long. I can always come back with to it because the things are so simple. It's not complicated. It's not they're just simple and something that you can use all the time. So I think that's the advantage that's why just try it, give it a try, and you won't regret it, because it's helpful. It's helped me to get out of my rut. And part of the rut was not being willing to try new things, because you make excuses. You say you're in so much of a rut that you can't possibly do anything for yourself because you have this whole to-do list that you need to tackle, that you're not tackling, because that's why you're in this rut or whatever. This is
Mhm.
um so saying no to that, saying no to some new options to be helpful in the long run, is another part of being in the rut. So like that one week, the one session of where's your energy, is it yes energy or no energy? And I think that's the finding a way to turn everything into the yes energy, and
Yeah,
of course helps with that. So
I love that you said you can use this stuff for the rest of your life, and it makes me so happy. I just want moms to be happy, We're here for our kids, but we also need to send ourselves compassion and attention as well. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to spreading this course far and wide. So I'm happy you were able to share your thoughts on it and your feedback. And
yeah,
yeah, is there any last?
it was very good.
Thank you. I think that was all the questions. Do you have any last things to say about it?
um well, another thing that I was thinking is pondering this, going into you have a technique and a knack, or let's a gift actually, for for presenting people with pathways through a barrier. So it just seems to be something that comes naturally to you, and you're able to take take the pressure off and slow down and reflect, and then something that seems like a barrier that you can't, an unsurmountable barrier, somehow you're able to guide people into finding a way through, as opposed to being a permanent roadblock. And I mean, obviously you do this all the time with children, and when they have conflicts with each other, but it can apply to any block in life where you feel like you can't get through. So I think that that's something that's definitely your strength, and that comes through in this program, as to breaking it down into a tiny step that's doable, and seeing there is a way out instead of being trapped.
Thank you so much, Melanie. That means so much to me. You know, um, it's all inside of you. So you did the work, and you had the awareness, and um, you committed. And so I'm just that coach to
The
support.
facilitator, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, the support that comes out. So um, yeah, we all have that ability inside to sit in awareness. Sometimes we just don't see it until an outside perspective comes by. So I really appreciate um yeah, your feedback on the course and how I facilitate, because there are so many courses out there that you could take that are like, yeah, be more mindful, and um you know, let's all meditate and that kind of stuff, but you really have to connect with the facilitator,
Hmm.
right? It's important that you connect with the person that's leading it.
Hmm.
So yeah. All right. So I hope to see you in my other programs too. So thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, Tegan. Bye, Kala.